If you've seen any of my other videos, you know the deal. I'm going to speedrun a short hike using the any percent route, and I have never actually played a short hike before. Just like last time, the rules are: 1. I can do as much prep as I want, but I cannot open, play, or mess around with the game before I start the run. 2. I cannot look anything up once I have started. I have to rely on my notes and my memory. 3. I have to try to complete all the skips used in the any percent routing of this game. Let's get this run started. So the first issue is that this game actually does have a speedrun mode. Why is this an issue, you ask? Well, because it doesn't actually unlock until you've beaten the game, which means I can't take advantage of it. So I need to use live splits instead of the in-game timer, and I have to manually skip the text, which gets old very quickly. With that tragically unavailable, I am able to start the run. First, I talk to this person because I mess up how to skip them. I only make the error once, but it is annoying. Then I grab this coin right here, so I get the got coin message and it doesn't pop up later in the run. Next is a very picky skip, where you run into this load zone behind this cliff, then run back a bit and do a save and quit while standing on this stick. The game basically gets confused about where to spawn you, so it moves you to the nearest valid spawn point, which is just a bit ahead. Now, I tried this a number of times in the run, and I never really got it on the first attempt. The jump and interact buttons are also the same, so when I tried to jump on the stick to ensure it worked, I would pick up the stick. I never did get a consistent setup, and by the end of this, I kind of just gave up and skipped it each time. The next thing is this umbrella. This is the first of 2 really important things that I did not include in my any percent notes. Basically, if you bounce on the umbrella and later flowers, we'll get to those, while not gliding, you get a nice little bounce in the air, even enough to do the kind of skip I was trying to do here. Except if you bounce on them while gliding, you get a considerably larger boost and a lot more speed. Now, I will remember this later on, but for now I kind of just struggle with it. The next thing that comes up are chest boosts. So when you open a chest while standing on it this game, you get a nice boost in the air, but only if you're standing in a very particular location, which varies from chest to chest. Now, what I wrote down in my notes mentioned that the position you stand is incredibly important. What I didn't write down was that after opening the chest, you need to hold the interact button to actually get the large boost you need. This mistake ends up costing me about half an hour as I try and fail to do the very first chest boost. But after half an hour of attempts, I finally make it up this wall so I can then grab the first golden feather. These are used as stamina in this game, both for flapping your wings to get a little extra height, and for climbing on slopes. I then glide down this canal and up to the next big skip. Another chest jump. Honestly, the biggest issue I ran into on some of these is that adjusting the camera so I can see where I'm standing is mapped to the right stick, which is really hard to adjust when you need both thumbs for moving and jumping. But I mess up the chest boost because I'm still not doing them right, but this time I just go around and find another path because I cannot get stuck behind another chest boost after I wasted half an hour on the first one. Finding my way back onto the route, I glide through the mountain, through this narrow walkway to the bucket. You can use this bucket to pick up water and use it to water these little plant buds, and now you have a bounce pad for some reason. I still haven't grasped that you need to glide into them for optimal boost though, so it doesn't go well. I try to boost up this wall, but just open the chest back by mistake. Watching this back, I'm not even sure why I'm over here. This is not part of the run. Probably just getting annoyed because my movement isn't working, because I'm doing it wrong. I then try to boost off a chest that isn't part of the run, run off the chest before the boost, and try to find another way around the mountain, which as best I can tell there is not. So I have to start over again. And with that, I was 3 for 3 on games that I tried to speedrun that almost made me give up at the very beginning. It's almost like speedrunning games you've never played is not a good idea. Weird. Finally, I remember/realize that you need to hold the interact button to actually get decent height when doing these chest boots. Finally, the run can actually get underway. Except that I immediately mess up the second check boost and take the long way around. After some struggles at the flower jump, I realized that gliding into the bounces gives you way more height and speed. This gets me up to another chest boost, which I mess up immediately. So, back to the start of the game again. This time I'm armed with the 2 pieces of information I actually need. I bounce off this umbrella while gliding, kind of, chest boost up in 1, and actually managed to do the second chest boost correctly. Flower up to the 3rd chest boost, which I mess up. Rather than reset for the 90th time, I get back up to the chest and skirt around the edge to find another path. It doesn't initially look like there is one, but I did find out that if you're stubborn enough and mash the jump button fast enough, you can actually scale this wall with only 1 feather. At this point, I have to run forward kind of blind, as I have no idea where I am in relation to anything. But I see the pond below, and by dropping down, I get to a place I'm actually supposed to be. Water the plant and grab some water for later. And on a second attempt, make it up to the next flower bud, only to realize I unequipped my bucket somehow. Okay, fine. I hop back down, grab some water, get back up, bounce up to the next flower, and glide over to the near end of the game, but then I struggled with this wall a bunch for some reason. After some struggles, I'm up and can sit down and wait for my mom to call. Phone call out of the way, and all that is left is to glide back down the mountain, which I don't do a great job at, but fortunately down is a guarantee when you're falling. I also only realized at the end that you dive by holding glide and no direction input. Too late to actually be helpful, but I managed, and that is time. So this was another game where the run is really short, and it took me way longer to record than expected. Fortunately not to nearly the same degree as Untitled Goose Game. And this time, it wasn't a fundamental lack of understanding, it was because I took bad notes. It's just one more lesson to learn in trying to identify what I need to know and identify when prepping for these runs. But that is 3 for 3 that I thought would be relatively easy and nearly gave up on. So that's fun. But I hope you had fun. Drop a like, maybe subscribe. If you have any suggestions for games to speedrun, drop them in the comments below. But if I see any interesting games with reasonable speedruns, ones that I haven't played before, I'll give them a look. That's all for me. Hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.